Okay, so let me go ahead and put the slide up, and the music will be writ. Okay, I need a co-host, please, Paul. Can you co-host me, Paul?
Working on it, bro.
Oh, sorry, I just saw it go on, so that's why.
I mean, it's not streaming yet. Oh, it is.
Okay,
It's streaming.
my bad.
How did that happen? Hi, everybody. Welcome to the green room. I'm going to pass it off to Mr. Craig Jackman.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Saturday night, April 10th, and time for the Green Room After Party with Darrin Ingram.
Hey, everybody. So, what an amazing show we had. Sarah Bareilles, I said it in the show, I'll say it again. I am a huge fanboy of Sarah Bareilles, have been for quite a while. I'm a little bit of a nerd and a little bit geeky about it, and I'm not ashamed. So, but let's bring in the people that are here to talk and green room it. So if you're in and you're talking, turn on your cameras and let's chat. Oh, we got some peeps. We got Amanda Benjamin, Sam Mikulich, Todd Stubler, Scott Gilbert, Dari. I don't remember. Forgot your last name already. I'm sorry, Dari. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mills.
Sure, it's the hard one to get me.
Literally
and Craig
the
Jackman.
best name ever. Like, literally.
You know, if you don't put it in the thing, I don't even remember my own name. So if I misspell my name, you know why. So wonderful show. Quick show of hands. Who knew Sarah Bareilles' music before this week? Like more than 2 songs, more than just the radio.
Well, because I watched The Last of Audacity.
Okay.
My,
and what about anybody?
My wife has several CDs, so I've heard it quite a bit.
And I love that you use CDs. Nicely done.
Well,
you know,
we have many MP3s. Is that better?
I escorted Sarah Bareilles to the restroom once.
What?
You know that's only legal in like the southern states, right? Like that's not out here. That's not a thing.
Share, Sam. Come on.
Need the story.
Take it further.
We need the story.
What happened there?
It's really simple, really. Hyundai International has this big building out in Fountain Valley. It's a world headquarters right off the 405. And they built that building from the ground up in 2006, and they had this big opening party, and Sarah Bareilles was hired to do the concert for Hyundai for their international headquarters grand opening right here in Fountain Valley. And next to Hyundai World Headquarters is Fry's Electronics on 10800 East Clum River, Fountain Valley, California. Make sure you swing by and support them. Buy some computer stuff over there at Fry's. Anytime. They open at 10 tomorrow. Anyway.
The after party brought to you by...
Anyway, they couldn't fit all of Sarah's many tour buses in the parking structure for the concert. Their buses wouldn't fit, and there's like 10 of them. So they ran across the way and said, "Hey, Sam, do you mind if we use like the back half of your parking lot for these 10 buses?" And I said, "Sure, no problem. What's going on?" "Oh, Sarah Bareilles is here." "Ooh, from the sing-off?" "Yeah. I want a meter, though. That's got to happen, obviously. If you want to use my parking lot, I got a meter." So, yeah, fine, whatever. Just bring the buses over here. And she hopped out of the bus, and she's from Northern California, so she knows Fry's. And she wanted to pop in and do a little shopping, and we had a little chit-chat. Great lady. There you go. Spent my 7 minutes with Sarah. It was great.
Was that pre-waitress or post-waitress?
That was in 2005. No, 2015. So post-waitress, I believe.
Okay. All right.
Do you know where she's from in Northern California?
I want to say Eureka.
Oh, she's really Northern California.
That's northern.
She is Northern California, yeah.
Okay, because I'm from Northern California, but not like Northern.
Yeah, she somehow it came up where she grew up and where she went to college, and I said I'm from Sacramento. She said, "Oh yeah, I'm from Eureka," as I recall.
Oh, I went to Davis.
Sweet lady. Oh, you went to where?
I went to Davis.
UC Davis?
Yes, I went to
Some of
UC
my very
Davis.
best friends went to UC Davis right there off the expressway. Great college. Anyway,
I love it there.
Darrin, you'll be pleased to know she's a super sweet lady, very nice, very talkative, laughs a lot, and just a great spirit. You could, have a conversation with her all day if you had the ability. Great lady.
Sam, I got an equal story to tell you about.
Oh, please, go right ahead.
Go for it,
Leanne
man.
Rhymes' mom. She needed to go to the bathroom at my Blockbuster video, and
Really?
I escorted her there, and Leanne was there, and I recommended movies to her. And
Nice.
then she was like hiding over by the candy, like being all nonchalant. I'm like, yeah, you realize we know who you are. It's okay.
And then, like, Channel M pipes through How Do I Live over the intercom,
Yeah,
just
Yes.
randomly.
It literally was like, oh, awkward, not good. Sorry.
Was she nice? Or was she just like,
Leanne was-
get away
no.
from me?
Her mom was so southern and so sweet that
Yeah, I believe it.
it was like, you are the most beautiful human being ever. Her mom was like mom. It was like all of our moms. She was the sweetest lady on earth. And then Leanne was still sweet. She just didn't want to be like recognized. And I kind of I gave her a nod and went, you're okay here. You want to come? We're in movies. You're not going to be bothered. No problem in my nonchalant. You're all right. And she was sweet as can be.
Well, did they return their movies on time? I think is the question everybody.
No.
That is a good question.
Nobody,
Did they rewind?
Nobody,
Were they kind?
No. Well, it was DVDs at that time. But
Oh, okay.
Blockbuster just gave them the movies.
Oh, but they came in. They rented movies. They moved into town, and I was like, okay. And they were very sweet. They were very nice. They were very humble and awesome. And it was a very beautiful thing to see that. They were like, especially like Leanne Rhymes being as humongous as she was, and her mom was just mom. Mom was mom. Mom was just like.
Did you tell her, like, hey, Leanne, listen, I close on Thursdays, so if you want to have exclusive access to all the new releases the following morning, I'll let you in. It's just me here, but, I'm okay. You could come in after midnight, you and me, and we'll go through all the new releases, and you can take anything you want home.
Yeah, Sam, I went through all these scenarios in my head, and that's just disgusting and wrong, so I did not do that, but I went, hey, you guys are okay here. And
Oh man, Gilbert, you only get one shot at opportunities like that. You gotta.
Actually, what I heard, the true story is I heard that the executives at Blockbuster knew that Scott had a follow-up date with Leanne, so they shut all the stores down.
hey,
Oh, it's your fault.
That's the reason.
All but one still going in Bend, Oregon.
And Oregon. Did you see the
There's
documentary
one.
on that?
I did,
I did.
and it made me feel how just terrible social media has ruined our connection with each other face to face, and that whole community vibe that they're talking about in that documentary. I totally get that, and I remember that. You go to the movie store and you're talking to strangers about the movies and what you want to bring home, and then none of that exists anymore.
I worked at a Blockbuster. I worked at the Blockbuster in Westlake Village for a summer between college years, and that they were describing that experience of your job was to wander around talking movies to people. Like, what a great job!
Dream
that
come
really
true.
no,
was.
it was not
Now
a great
we
job.
just
I was an employee. I went to assistant manager and store manager. Trust me, it was okay. Go watch Clerks.
Yep.
And literally, there's a moment in Clerks where really is what the real experience of working at a video store is. Hey, do you have that movie with the guy that was in the thing? that
Thing
did
with the place.
thing? And the sad part is when they said that to me, I was like, yeah, it's so and so. It's right there on the wall. They were like, oh, great, yeah, that's. And it was always the new movie that came out, so it was
Perfect,
not
yeah.
like this. I mean, I made it seem like it was some miracle magic, and that I did, and they would grasp on that moment like, you are just like the golden movie god, and I'm like, no, I'm not. And then, okay, since we're on Vaudacity, and speaking of Blockbuster, sorry I had to take this out because it was hurting my other ear. I have a Paul story.
Oh, we
Oh.
take Paul stories.
I don't
So-
think he's here to defend himself. So go ahead.
He's not, and so Paul was my assistant manager, or one of my employees. I don't remember, but he worked with me at Blockbuster Video, which was fantastic. And one day he came up and was like, and Paul, being the just epic genius he is, he's like, "We got to do a Meow game from start from."
Oh
Super
no,
Troopers."
he says that it's your idea to start the Meow game.
It might have been. I don't know. I was trying to give him credit. I have honestly, I don't remember yesterday, so that's fine. So, but we did it, and Paul, being the comedic and wonderful human genius he is, we would do that at Blockbuster Video, and it was some of the most epic moments of like our lives. It was actually, it was at customer service prepping and marketing movies that came out, because Super Troopers came out, and some people were a little about it, but we're like, hey, we're just kind of hyping the movies that are coming out, but we'd have fun. And when I went to be the store manager at that store, and Paul was already there, we had so much fun, as you can all imagine. Being with Paul is like the whole world becomes like fun and entertaining, and we had a blast just doing all the stuff that all of us do on this show is what we used to do on that, from the great imagination of Paul. And it was totally fun, except the one time where a guy really got offended at what Paul was saying, and I don't know if he's going to kill me if I tell the story. But,
Go ahead.
But yeah, Paul. So we were doing the Meow game, and the guy was like, "Are you calling me ma'am?" And we were like, he was so offended that Paul just went, no, we're saying meow because it's from Super Troopers. And he's like, oh, I'm sure Paul has a better memory of it, but so he was so mad, and I'm sitting there just laughing because I'm the store manager going, oh crap, I started this. This is horrible.
Did the guy ask to see you?
No, thankfully, and I was there. I mean, we were all like exposed. We're all right there. But
If he asked for the manager,
Yes,
would
for
you
the
would have
manager.
come up and would you said, how may I assist you now?
yeah, no, I did. I was in on it. It was me and Paul. I think it was me and Paul and maybe another actor from the college days that we would do that stuff. And it was fun. It was entertaining. It might have got out a little hand. And honestly, if they would have asked for the store manager, I would have pointed to Paul and just ran.
Just sort of slyly take your name tag off, get it on Paul's back.
Yeah.
And be
Just like you did with Leanne. No, yeah, just stand over there.
blame
I'll just be
him.
over. I'll be over here.
Yeah, just shoplift
Bye.
some of that candy
That's
for me.
it.
And,
That's it.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how the bullies of the world will always find a reason to be upset? They will find a reason to. You're playing the meow game? What's wrong with you? We're having fun. What do you think? Yeah, we had a game, and again, you talk about high school. We had a game that we played. We stood at a stop sign outside my friend's house because none of us had cars, and we barked at the cars that didn't stop. That was it. That was the game. It was just sort of stupid because we'd sit and we'd chat, and it was right in front of his house, and then the cars that would roll through the stop sign right there, we would roar, 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 and this guy slams on his brakes, jumps out of his car. I could actually see the needle marks from the roids that he had just done 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And we're all there. There's a good 5, 6 of us. Now, you have to understand, my circle of friends were very athletic at the time. And I know, looking at me, you don't get it, but they were very athletic at the time. And this dude walks by, a guy who ended up becoming a D1 lineman, another guy who was clearly into martial arts, a D1 wrestler, and then goes to the littlest person, walks right by all these littlest person. Did you do that? I'm like, okay, dude, know your audience, because this isn't going to end well, just so you know. But the bullies out there will find a way to be upset. But Sam, even though you didn't know me at the time, I'm still disappointed you didn't call me when Sarah Bareilles came to your store. I want you to understand that.
If I had known you, you would have been the first to know.
You probably wouldn't. I actually don't do the sort of groupie-ish, tongue-tied thing. I know it's kind of surprising that I end up well-spoken, but there are a few out there, and she would be one of them, where I would probably not know words in an order that would be fine. Yeah. The only other one that, actually two other ones that I got tongue-tied on were Dom Deluise and Terence Mann. Those two nailed me.
I see that.
Only because I loved both of them. They were both inspirations to me, both comedically and musical theater. And if you don't know who Terence Mann is, people, go look up Terence Mann.
Oh, Terence Mann is amazing.
His resume is ridiculous. And if you don't know his name, that's also why I love him so much, because he doesn't make a big show out of who he is. He doesn't, go out and say, "I'm Terry Mann, look at me."
Yeah,
But Amanda.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's just pretend it's you and I, and David isn't listening.
Okay.
So, had you
Where is that guy anyway? By
I
the
know,
way,
that guy.
missing.
He had a big week and he doesn't know a lot of Cerebrella stuff, and he's like, I just think I need the week off, and I definitely supported that because he had that crazy week
Shot
at
right
work,
through the heart.
So, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Darren, be careful because
But
he's
we've
probably
talked
right off
about
camera.
Like right
yeah,
there.
no, he's not.
It's like
We're
every time he
actually
goes, "Oh, I'm here.
I see a shadow, I think.
no. We're actually because I was filming this week. So David got his vaccine on Monday.
Congratulations.
And yeah, I know, so great. And I am mostly there. My vaccination. It's so I called my doctor and they said, yeah, you're good. Go ahead and work. It'll be fine. Of course, vaccines, there's always a chance you'll catch something even if you're fully vaccinated. But she's like, at 12 days out, go for it. I said, okay. But David's not. And I asked her, I said, well, is there a chance that I could bring this back? And she said, well, yeah, there's a chance. And this, I was actually talking to the nurse at this point, and she said, I work at the COVID clinic, and I would just kind of keep separate in your house for this job, just because you want to be safe. So he's actually downstairs. I'm upstairs.
And he's watching. He's in the chat.
He's in it.
He's
Wait a
all
minute.
over the
You're
place.
saying that you have not commingled with your husband the whole week?
What? No, it's only been a couple days. But I'm going to go get tested because, we just want to be really safe because, if something happened, I know I couldn't stand it. So I'm going to go get tested in a few days just so we're super safe and we know we're good.
I think that's the scariest thing for me, too.
Yeah.
It isn't getting sick myself, even though
Yeah.
that's super scary.
It is.
It's the getting my children or my wife or my mom sick
Yeah.
and not knowing. That's the scariest possible thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you have an actual question for me? Sorry.
That was it. That was the question. Nicely done.
It was where the F is David
I
Benjamin?
know. Yeah. So yeah, like I said,
Where
we'll
in
test
the world
soon.
is David
With
Benjamin?
Benjamin.
Oh.
See, this hat works for that too.
We
there you
just
go.
here's
She
the
is.
Carmen San Diego
Beautiful.
hat out of nowhere.
Wait.
How is that possible?
We
What
had
just
that on
happened?
for Party Quirks. That was on for
Yeah, I
Party
did.
Quirks.
I think that gave it away almost instantly.
Well, I mean, so,
I'm gonna have to watch that back. That didn't just happen. There's no way.
Scott actually pinged me after Party Quirks and is like, dude, how do you get those so fast? I actually have a trick. So for those listening, you can watch this trick now to how I get who people are.
Wait, can I get a pen?
No, it's super easy. It's super easy.
Watch the replay.
Yeah. Everybody here, I've already memorized how you speak. So when you say something that is out of the rhythm of how you're speaking, in my head, a little buzzer goes off. Oh, that was something I had to pay attention to. Right? Because your speaking patterns are like music. Everybody speaks in a musical pattern that is unique to themselves. And when you're trying to lie, which is what Party Quirks really is just a giant lie. I'm a bird. No, you're not. But
Darrin is a good-looking man.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I do in the mirror every day, and I don't believe me either. But that's the trick, is I just listen for the rhythm of the sounds of your voices.
Paul says your questioning is perfect too, but that's some friends and file shit right there. That's like you're a human lie detector.
I know.
Well, background, I went to school in a theater art school in New York City, and one of the assignments we got was to pick a person in society that you normally wouldn't interact with, study them, and then come back and don't just do a caricature of them, but try to recreate them as a human being. What a wonderful thing to have to learn and do, because I chose somebody who was a homeless man who worked our block. And I didn't know him before the assignment. Him and I became great friends after that. In fact, I found out that my soda addiction was even recognizable to the people on the street because he used to call me Super Size. So it wasn't because I was big, because I was super skinny. So
you had a soda addiction and you were super skinny? That's nice.
I was, yeah, metabolism.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Talk about a great way to character study.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
I know.
But the character study was to figure out how that human being exists. And part of that is understanding their rhythms, understanding their micro expressions, their energy when certain people walk by them and certain other people don't walk by them. And relating that back to what we did tonight, Paul was mentioning how, the Sarah Bareilles writes so powerfully, right? There are layers and layers and layers to the lyrics she chooses. But even if you go further than that, I had mentioned in the chat that the You Matter to Me, so brilliant that she wrote it as a waltz. Didn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's two people dancing through trying to talk about their love for one another. And that's a dance.
That's special.
Right? And, it was point counterpoint in the music. And so, right? That power in the music is just so profound that even if you don't hear the lyrics, you're instantly taken to a place that she wanted you to go. And I love that about how music works. And that's how people speak too.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Todd and Denny are the hardest for me in Party Quirks because they're used to lying.
And you've known me for like a million years.
So I know when you're out of rhythm. Yeah. But Todd, Todd and I only know each other from the show, so I don't have a lot of interaction with him. But two, being a stand-up comedian, being an improvisationalist, you're used to making your voice make sounds that are different without making them sound different. And so it's hard for me to know what the clue is.
When we spoke one of these in the past, and we talked about George Carlin.
Mm-hmm.
He had a whole bit on how human speaking interaction is jazz.
Yep.
Where it's just like ta 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 oh ha 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 yeah. It's like it's all just it's all bits and pops back and forth, but there's a rhythm to it. There's a rhythm to it if you're listening to it.
Yeah, and an energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends tried to do a hosting session, one of these kinds of things, and he didn't quite get it. This was years ago. Didn't quite get it right, and it was exactly what you were talking about. It's that he wasn't listening to the rhythms of speech, so he didn't know when to interject. He didn't know when to come on. He didn't know when to slide that question in and then pull back away. And so it dragged. And you could feel it dragging. A lot of interrupting. You have that with stand-up comedy. Because you have the laughter. That's the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And if you step on their laughter, you're screwed. You just screwed yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's, and who's it? Stand-up comedians. I can't remember which one. But he was talking about there's a rhythm with when you're doing stand-up that they always say that if you watch a stand-up comedian drink his drink from the chair and it's in silence, that he's bombing, because that drink has been timed to when everybody's ha ha ha. So while they're laughing, I'll get a drink and then I'll go back to my thing. So if he takes a drink into dead silence, either he didn't time it right or the joke was not funny.
You usually tell because the drink's doing one of these.
but at the same time, he's saying, you have this rhythm of, I'm building and I'm building and I'm going to get to this punchline or I'm going to get to this bit. And just before you maybe get there, a waitress drops a glass, or just like clang, makes some loud noise, and then you're just like, so the chicken crossed the road, and everybody was like, just, it kills the whole thing. It's just one little sound, but but that rhythm has been building and building, and then you throw it off, but everybody has to turn around and see what that noise was, and you're out of it.
What's up, Scott?
Muted.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Scott.
You're a great stand-up, and you're also a great improviser. And I've always no, you are.
Thank you.
Come on now. So what I've always told like stand-up friends of mine, that they're like, "What do you think of my stand-up?" I said, "Well, stop looking at your palm where you wrote your notes. It's literally it's distracting." And the magical difference between like good stand-up between bad stand-up is not so much the jokes, because you'll work on the jokes and get the right ones, and that's why you work that scenario until you get the right jokes that just kind of flow and the whole storyline. But it's that middle part, like you were just saying, Todd, where there's the drink stuff. And I've noticed that a lot of my favorite comedians, and being that you are an improviser and a stand-up, that you can transition the "oh crap, that bombed" with a funny quip to transition and segue into that next situation. And that's the difference between like the really good stand-ups that can transition, is they can improvise their way through that lull in the joke that just didn't work.
I did an interview with a guy named Mark Christopher Lawrence. Been a stand-up comedian for years and years and years, and his take on it is the audience. Sometimes my jokes aren't really that funny, but the swagger that I bring, that presence, they know I'm going to be funny at some point, so they're already with me. They're already coming along, and Chris Rock does that so well, right? Kevin Hart just says, "Screw it, I'm just going to keep getting louder and keep going further until it becomes funny." Robin Williams, if you wrote what Robin Williams says on a piece of paper and read it aloud, you'd be like, "Yeah, it's kind of funny." But that energy, that timing, that pace, that freneticism that he brought, you're like, I don't know what he's going to say, but I know it's going to be funny. Go, yes.
That's the stand-up. Sorry, that's the stand-up basis of. There's two types of stand-up. Some people say things funny, or people say funny things.
It's,
so sometimes sometimes. Go ahead.
Oh no, I should say it's also a thing in jazz that they would always say when you're playing a riff or whatever you're doing, and they said, well, let's say you play a wrong note. I said, then all you have to do is play it again, and maybe one more time, and it's not a wrong note anymore. Like it becomes, it's about that confidence and bringing it in and knowing what you can do and selling it to your audience.
I wish I could remember his name. There is a comedian out there that made a jazz album.
Ooh.
And it's called I Can't Play. And he went out and he got like 3 or 4 of the top jazz guys in the business, and got like a bass player and a drummer and a guitarist, and he played piano. Literally has no clue, does not know how to play piano, but they would play their stuff at the top level of jazz. Right. And he's just like, da, 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 ba, 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 he's just pounding on the piano, but he's got like a little bit of rhythm, but cannot play piano. And if you listen to it, it's hysterical because it totally sounds like really good jazz, even though he has no idea what he's doing.
Jeremy says that Google says the name is John Benjamin. Could that be it?
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Probably, yeah. But you should listen to it sometime. It's so funny because it's just like, because he literally can't play piano, but he got all these really other good musicians.
Dana Carvey, as wonderful a musician as he actually is, when he was doing his broccoli on piano, which was like 3 notes of banging, and made an entire funny song off of that. It's the same scenario. It does. It's just like music. You don't need to have like 8 million, like two. It's like from Amadeus, where it's like, oh, too many notes. Sometimes you don't need all the notes. You just need the inflection. And Amanda and David can attest to that. Where sometimes it's not all the things, and that's the same thing with comedy. Sometimes it's not all the here's the joke. Sometimes it's that beautifulness, that experience of knowing to bring your audience in to your world. The same thing we all do on a weekly basis.
Same thing in Zumba.
Yeah, I was
And
going to
Zumba,
ask you, Dari. I
yes.
mean, you do something to me, and I see people in here on the chat saying I could never do stand up. I was, and it still sounds weird to say this out of my face, but I was paid to dance for many years. Okay, I know. Trust me, I know. And it still would terrify me
You're a great
if I had to lead a class. Like, walk into an empty dance studio, walk up to the front, and 30 people in gym wear are staring at you, and they're like, "All right, do something."
Oh yeah, no, it's when I first started doing like teaching, it was terrifying because you have all these people staring at you like, "Oh, you're new. Who are you? Let's see what you can do."
This is gonna suck.
Yeah. You got your front row divas, and then the new people that come in, and then the people that are like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do half," and some people have an idea of what a Zumba instructor does, and they think that's the only way. Or because you start as a sub, like teachers do, and so people have expectations of you're going to be like them. But like, just like when you direct something, people are just staring at you like, okay, tell me what to do. But you have to like literally like give like a whole introduction.
That doesn't scare me. I'm going to be directing West Side Story in a few months. Doesn't scare me at all. I can't wait to get in a room with a bunch of creative people and kind of guide them through their own discovery. That's what a director should do anyway, is guide people through their own discovery and build a show together and keep kind of the bumpers on the side of it, right?
Right.
But the dance person, to your point, you got the front row divas that are like, I could totally teach this class. Oh my God, this girl, I would so do better than this.
Right. So you have like this whole, when you're as a sub, you have everyone like, oh, I've never seen you before type of thing. And as soon as you like start going into a rhythm of things and they've seen you, they like, oh, I know this. I know how, like they trying to like get the feel of you. And like,
You shouldn't let them do that. That's not.
a feel of the rhythm of how you dance.
Oh, sorry.
Apparently, I don't speak sentences well. It was fun.
Half of it said I'm just a dirty.
Now I'm like
man.
singing Gloria stuff on in my head. And y'all know
That's
it's
just
fun.
a
I was thinking of the rhythm of the night. Oh.
Nice.
Mhm,
Nice.
mhm.
But you know what's
Sorry.
funny? Even on the flip side, Sam, you
Oh my God.
to me, you have, if you're doing sound engineering, right? If you're in charge of making someone like me sound good, there is so much room for diva-ness coming back to you. I can't even imagine.
I don't do a lot of the post-production stuff, so I don't have to deal with a lot of that. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
My job as a location sound recordist is to get the best possible quality sound into post-production so they don't have to go and do a bunch of shit over again.
But you have to give notes to performers, right? You have to kind of guide them through, don't you?
Well, I mean, not as much, because that's what the director does. My job is to capture what the performance is, whatever it might be.
Okay.
I don't necessarily go in there and give notes on, inflect more, you're whispering too much. All of that is in in 95% of the work the job of the director. My job is to capture what they want the talent to deliver, and that is certainly a challenge based on a multitude of factors. And so no, I mean, I don't get a lot of that diva feedback at all on set. In fact, I'm usually Sammy's sweetheart. Everybody wants to be my friend, and we get along great. And whatever I
True.
need, I usually get because we're already cool.
Does that sound like a challenge to everybody? It feels like a challenge, doesn't it?
No, I got an 825-page book of
I mean,
notes
all
from
of
Sam.
us. You know,
I
we got.
mean, Sammy
Yeah.
Cakes is my favorite, so.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I only got
I
through
do
page
appreciate
3.
that.
I haven't even gone through chapter 1 of the book of notes you gave me, so I'm really trying.
But hopefully when I give you those notes, you kind of feel better about yourself, even though I just took a shit on what you just did. Usually there's, a way to, make you, feel like, hey, we're doing something better together,
I don't even know how to read. Mary's been reading it to me, and I'm like,
Nice.
She puts me
Nice.
to sleep with it.
Y'all,
For those that
Book of
don't know, those that are watching, the magic of us sounding good and the videos coming across is often thankless and often a lot more work than people give it credit for. And the level of experience that you have to say, yeah, you're coming in a little hotter than you need to, or you need to. I mean, it's not just a guessing thing. It's not just somebody sitting around going, I don't know, it sounds a little loud to me, right? So, I am very grateful for what you do, Sam. I am very grateful
Sam and
for
Craig.
the quality that you allow us to be, even if we don't necessarily bring it ourselves and you have to tweak it. I am very, very grateful for it.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, it's really...
Sam will actually will tell me pre and after. Craig will be on it during going, Scott, shut up. Or lower that shit. And the teamwork from them is amazing. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you guys are literally amazing humans. I'm sorry to interject. I wanted to interject on that.
No,
That's
not
okay.
at all.
I got
Thank you
3 letters
very
from
much.
Craig and 2 from Sam saying, hey, make Scott shut up for a minute so I can talk.
Oh, wow.
trying to type
It's-
secretly.
It's really funny because, what we do is a Zoom meeting, and it started that way because that was, all we had at our disposal. And so how do you, take something like that, even if it's top-notch talent? I mean, we've all seen it in the last year. So many amazing performers who would be selling out any arena. They're doing little live streams on a Zoom channel, to try to pass the time and do something fun for their fans. But sometimes it's totally shitty, and it's because the tech is just not there. You just don't know what to do. And it took a lot of trial and error that was voluntary to figure out how to get from step 1 to kind of where we are now, where we can tell people what the best equipment is to own at home and what the best settings are this week for our meetings, and taking, a black frame Zoom meeting and trying to make it look like an actual produced TV show. All of that is, something that I found fascinating and fun, because I had radio and TV film in my background from 8th grade all the way through high school. I was sort of in a charter school that had amazing programs that taught us how to do that. Of course, all on VHS tapes and no computers back in the late 90s. But, just having that feel like you were talking about a minute ago of knowing, when to hear that timing, not to step on laughter. You also have that sort of timing on, what needs polishing, what could look better, what is fine how it is. And then just getting people to focus on their performance and having confidence that you're going to deliver it in the best possible way for people to watch. Hopefully that takes a lot of the pressure of, well, is my tech going to be okay or not? And just focusing on the performance instead of all of that, I find that, you get a better result. So I'm very happy to do it.
I had a moment
Sam,
today.
in the first 5 or 10 shows, how many times do you think we said the phrase "turn off original sound"?
A billion. And that's just because we're trying to figure out how to, focus on making Zoom something that's better than it was, because it wasn't ready for what we were trying to do. Nothing was, but it was the closest to the pin. And since then, so many people like us were using it for what we're doing that they went back in and fixed a lot of their sound stuff. I mean, if you know anything about LimeWire, when you're 1998 downloading MP3s, MP3s at 128 kilobits, the file was a little bit smaller. You can get in 4 minutes, but it really sounded bad. If you can get the 192 kilobit version of the song, it might take 10 minutes to download, but it's going to sound a lot better. And even now in 2020, Zoom was broadcasting audio at 50 kilobits a second. So it's like, what are you going to do with that? It's like super compressed. It sounds terrible. And then, the vision of at least Paul's show was everything needs to be live. Nothing should be pre-recorded, because people get the most out of live performance. So let's not pre-record anything. And then, you're right, Todd, it was a gong show at first, because we just needed to we needed to fail before we could figure out how to do it the right way. And it took some time, and it took getting off Facebook. I mean, Craig will tell you, he was holding on with both hands, like, no, we need to stay on Facebook. Oh,
not just me, but Paul too.
Oh, you were the sounding board, and you guys don't get it. This Facebook is terrible. Nobody's gonna find it. It's like they make up all their stats. They tell you 4,000 people are watching, which is complete bullshit.
It's like if you scroll by, it's a view.
Yes.
So
that's
just
a view.
building.
Right.
I mean, just saying, let's build this YouTube channel so at least people can find the videos, and it's at a big search engine for everything. There's been a lot of steps, bro. and you're right. It is often thankless, but that's how it should be, because it shouldn't be like, oh, let's be inconvenienced and sidestepped by all these production details in order to make it look better. I can't do this, I can't do that, because it's, the production. It should be completely transparent, because again, the focus has to be on the performance. And then after you do that, I come in after you and make it look good for people to watch.
Well, I can say for myself, I joined in end of August, was around when I started. And by the way, we were still talking about turn off original sound. So
to this day we are.
Yeah.
I probably have done, I don't know, with all of the different shows, maybe 40, 50 shows with you guys. I still don't know how it's done. I was telling that to Craig today.
No
right?
idea.
All right. I literally, Craig was like, okay, so we got the keys, and I got this, and I'm ready. And I go, someday I got to know what you're doing, because I
don't know what any of that means.
This has been a learning experience top to bottom. And what Sam told you is exactly it. I mean, we had some idea of what Zoom was like, and we ran with it. And, I keep saying it to give Sam kudos, because what he's done is he's done the deep dive. He has really gone in and found what could we do to make it better for all of us. And, especially in the transition going from Facebook to YouTube, he dragged us in there. It was a drag. And we finally said, okay, fine, let's do it. And here we are. And here we are, not with just a Facebook live, but we're here with a YouTube channel and a network and an amazing cast of people. And yeah, we still have some things that go wrong during the show, but that's because it's live. But what it does, and I think that we get that from the audience, and we get that from everybody who plays here during the program, that we're just doing what we can. We're having fun. We're a family. We're getting together. We're enjoying this. Are you enjoying this? If you are, thank you so much. And we see that in the chat, and we see that with how you support each and every one of us, with your sharing the show, with tips, with the likes, the subscribes, with saying and just supporting everything that is done here.
It's so true, Craig. And, you feel a little bit selfish, or at least I do, because yes, we're doing it for everybody to watch. I'm no different than anybody else in this chat room. I'm just a fan. I am not a Disney cast member. I am not a public performer. I'm not in musicals. I admire all the talent that we showcase on this show. But what the network has given back to me is being able to reconnect with that back end that I really fell in love with when I was in school, and
Paul's
doing
back
things
end.
like 3D graphics and the intros and, you know, all the little sizzle reels and all these little things make it look fun. It's just, it's so special to be able to give back to the people who have entertained us for, you know, decades, and, you know, being able to share your gifts with, you know, potentially the whole entire world has been the dream all along. So that's what makes it really cool. And I get way more out of it than one might think. It is a lot of work. It takes, you know, 10 hours of pre-production usually to get the shows ready for the week, before anything ever goes on the air, with all the thumbnails and programming shows and all these things. But it's a fun thing to do, because when you are watching like Amanda's show or the Pierce show or any of your shows, and you see 50, 60 people tune in, and then the chat room fills up, and then the super chat goes crazy.
It's
I mean,
awesome.
that is the ultimate reward right there.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, and we say it a lot, is the only bummer about this show is that more people aren't watching it.
And, you know, look at Frankie Grande, Ariana Grande's brother. You know, he's kind of a big deal. He's got 5 million people following him on YouTube and like 10 on Instagram. It took him years to find more than a couple hundred views on any video he did. And he was doing 5, 6 a week. But then one finally got picked up, and then boom, 10 million views on that one. And then the channel goes wild. And that will happen for us. I don't know what day it is, but if we keep doing what we're doing,
Yeah.
and follow our passion and our heart, and sharing the gift of your talent and song and performance with, you know, this computer, eventually it's going to pay off in spades, because at the end of the day, the talent in the shows is there. It's undeniable. The talent is there.
It's objectively entertaining. It's objectively funny, right? You can literally step back and go, you know, pick a scene, pick a moment. Some of them, just like any improv, some of them you're like, but most of them, look, we're being real, right? Most of them are actually objectively funny. And most of the songs are really, really good. I do think, though, that because she popped on, we have to take a moment to create a new drinking game. Not the so good one, but we should, every once in a while when we're together, play Mary's song that she wrote, and anytime she says the word Sarah, you have to take a drink. I'm pretty sure we'll be shit-faced by like
Real fast.
halfway through the song.
Wouldn't have made it through the show tonight, that's for sure.
You'd still be drinking. Hi, Mary.
Oh my gosh. That was great, Mary. That was really great. Can't hear
you're
you.
muted.
I don't know why.
Can't hear you.
you.
Remember Scott turned it down?
Oh, he turned it down because he
remember?
he got sad.
We were talking about Scott's volume.
disappeared.
And he went, "Kuh."
Still can't
Oh
hear.
man, Scott's
I'm
trying to
here,
show
man.
Mary up.
What?
Oh, there you go.
there we
There
go.
you go.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
So I saw the list of songs, and I only knew like maybe 2 or 3 songs, and they were already taken.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's a good thing I'm a composer. And so I sat at my piano. I took 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, what are songs called? And I was like, who's in Waitress the movie? And that's how the song worked out.
That's nice, though. And see,
Beautiful
that's-
song.
Yeah, that's the way
Thanks.
to do it too. If you have, I mean, going back to what Sam said, the level of talent, right? Oh, I took 20 minutes and I put a song together. Shut up.
Yeah, I know.
You know, like it's
That is
kind
not
of
my
stuff. That
Well, it also took 4 years of music school.
Totally.
And
yeah, totally. And by the
So-
way, I used the word talent. I actually like broke my own rule. I hate the
Yes.
word talent.
I was
I've always
gonna
hated
say.
the word talent. Right? Because talent is what gets you started, and training is what gets you great.
Wow.
You know, and work and perspiring and experience and, you know, all of those things are what make you great. So you have all of those in spades, Mary. So thank you for putting
thank
that
you. I
together. That was,
appreciate it.
pretty damn awesome. But again, man, I wish we'd had 5 million people. We just got to call up Frankie Grande and get him on the show.
Yes.
You know, we had Frankie on the show on Quarantine with Friends, and we did get an okay spike, but none of those blue check markers will do a lot of advanced promotion for you. So they'll pop on, but it's not like the 10 million people who, follow them, know what they're doing, because they're doing 15 things every day, just like that. So it's like, they can't put them on their socials. But again, a spark will ignite a fire at one point in time. I have no doubt in my mind.
It's a matter of just keep doing it.
Going to be?
It's a matter of just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Well, and I think we keep getting better. I really do.
Oh, there's no doubt.
We keep getting better.
I would like to think so.
Yeah, and we're expanding not just the reach, but also every time I see I didn't know who Cody was, right? And he'd done some of the early shows, didn't know who that was. And you think about the fact that you have Caitlin, who just joined a couple months ago, me, who joined about half a year ago, on and on and on. You're continuing to expand the people and the breadth of talent that you have. It's kind of amazing, Yeah,
the variety has to be in the variety show for sure. And so people coming in, they leave, they come back. That's all great. And that's what keeps it fresh, I think.
Yeah, and look at you have an actual network.
Yes, we have an actual network. We have done the show for literally 33 days in a row. I have produced and or directed 51 live streams in the last 40 days, which is pretty good. That's more than one a day, average. Yeah. That means that we're getting the content out there. And the more we populate that evil robot YouTube with our content, the more likely it's going to go, okay, fine, man, I'll push this out. And also, redirecting the monetization into the super chat for YouTube has been incredibly helpful too, because YouTube is now showing our videos to around 3 times as many people as they were in December. So that number continues to grow week after week. So thank you all very much for the super chatting at home as well, because that helps.
Is that difficult to organize?
What difficult?
The super chat stuff, or is that just automatic? Is that an automatic thing, or do you have
so
to
nice? I have it's set up to where every show is independently tracked. So taking care of, making sure that people get the correct tips at the end of the month is something that Paul takes very seriously. We all do, and this is right there. It's black and white. Boom. So it makes it actually super easy. And what we're getting in return of that is YouTube's marketing machine getting behind the videos and showing our thumbnails to more and more people, which is how you're going to find those 50,000 people to watch. And I know it will happen. I really want to get us to 30,000 subscribers this year, because once we get to 30,000, then we can open our own marketplace. We can sell our own merchandise. We can sell our own memberships. We can do fun little custom gifts and emojis and pictures in the chat. There's a lot of cool features that we can unlock for viewers once we get more people watching the channel. So that'll be the next big thing. Yeah. So everybody tell 100 of your friends to come and subscribe to the channel, please. And then we'll be there in 2 weeks. Be great.
If you can get to 250,000 subscribers, they have a full-fledged TV studio up in LA, and you can use it for free if you have that many.
They do. We had one of Stephanie's friends, Garrett Clayton of Teen Beach Movie fame from the Disney Channel, be invited there, and he started on his little channel called A Gay in the Life, which was a lifestyle channel about his lifestyle and all of his friends. This wonderful channel. I had the privilege of putting together, I think, 15 or 18 of their episodes last year. But there's another social experiment with how digital marketing works. Garrett Clayton has 10 million followers on Instagram. Huge. But we could only get 3,000 or 4,000 people to watch a video any given week. And that's Garrett Clayton. And it depends on the content and what the man, damn the man, decides to put out there, because there's no way that all 10 million of his followers see this post about this episode of The Gay in the Life that we keep just posted. Otherwise, he'd have 100,000 plus views. So it's funny how it all works, but you got to keep, it's like being a velociraptor. You got to test every fence systematically until you can find one you can knock through.
Sam, I've actually noticed that the uptick in viewership were only on days where Darrin took off his shirt.
There are spikes.
I thought it would have been Hunter, but it was actually Darrin, which is really kind of concerning.
You laugh and you're making a joke, but YouTube will show you on your show, on your video, what the spikes are and then what the valleys are. And there is a segment where Darrin pops on without his shirt on, and then he has his rubber gloves that come up. It's like this 15-second clip. And it not only tracks live viewers, but it tracks replays as well. And so I'm telling you, that thing goes from like here to whoop, it's a huge...
Every time Darrin takes his shirt off.
You know what? Every time I take my shirt off, YouTube gets an erection. So
it's very true. And they want everybody to see it. But yeah, we just need more skin in the show. It's basically the bottom line. We're gonna need everybody to run their dress code past your male or female.
You did do Rocky Horror. That is true.
Thank you.
I did my part.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're right.
True.
Yes.
You know, the interesting thing for me is that I went to I don't know if you guys do any of the actors do actors access or backstage or any of those kind of profiles. But I went there recently just to update some things because I was starting to put myself out there, and update your credits. And I'm thinking to myself, do I list every show?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is, if you think about the life cycle of a show that normally people put on, just either a theater show or a cabaret or something, the amount of work that you put in to be in a number for one of those is the same amount that we put in a week to get ready for these shows. Right? Tonight, I think I was in 4 or 5 improv scenes and I did 2 songs. That's probably the same amount of content I would do in a main stage production show. Theater.
A lot of work doing this.
Right? And so it's not just, and then I looked at the list because if you go to the Vaudacity Network on YouTube, go to Vaudacity Network on YouTube, and you actually click on the all videos link, it's scroll of videos on and on and on. So Sam, to your point, if something ever clicks, and by the way, I was sure it was going to be Dylan's We Didn't Start the Fire. I thought that was going to be the one.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
That was brilliant.
If something ever clicks where the subscribership goes way, way up, there's so much for them to look at. There's so much for them to see, to scroll back on. I mean, these are 6-hour shows, 8-hour shows, over 100 of them. It's crazy.
Over 400 of them.
Over 400 videos, yeah.
So basically,
over 400 live streams.
Oh my god.
There's 700 videos that are not live streams on the channel.
So basically, what we're saying is Darrin's naked upper torso is bringing live viewership to Vaudacity Network.
Well,
it's certainly being watched over and over and over by somebody.
Someone.
And you seem to know a lot about what I'm talking about.
It's true.
I mean, seriously, if that's the case, I'm bowing down to the naked, pale skin Darrin.
You know what it is. And, I mean, we make jokes about it, but I mean, here's the deal, and everybody has done it in one way or another. I mean, Todd has gotten me to laugh more often than I can count. Fortunately, I don't have to be on camera for it, so it's great. But there are these moments, and you could literally make a 10-hour video of 30-second moments that have happened in the last year that are amazing, that people just haven't seen. The fact that they saw that one was probably more to do with the wishy-wishy situation than it being any more or less funny than some of the other things that happened out there.
However, the wishy-wishy part is flat in the viewership.
That's crazy.
I'm not kidding you. The part where you come on goes whoop.
People were probably like, I don't know, there's technical problems.
I think the wishy-wishy thing is funny to us.
Oh my god!
But I don't know if a random viewer would.
Yeah,
know the
they would have been
would
like,
just think, "Oh, it broke."
Nah, this show's broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they suck. This is terrible.
I wonder too if people were like, "Oh, maybe if I refresh my browser, it'll."
That could be it too.
They didn't have original sound turned on.
I know. God.
Yeah. Our biggest challenge and where we're looking for help this year is more volunteer manpower than I can accomplish on my own to get these clips out of these marathon shows and have them stand on their own in 5 to 10 minute clips, because that's where the secret sauce really is going to be. The replays of the long shows, such a small percentage of the people who start one will finish one. It's single digit. But if you can get your 5 to 10 minute clips in and out, then that's where something like a We Didn't Start the Fire can really take off and do some magic. So definitely would love to talk to somebody who is interested in pouring through some weekly clips with me and
Sam, I got your back, man. I've been playing with my editing thing, so you need some help. You throw it my way, I'll help.
There you go. Yeah, I can start talking about that, because it's so many crown jewels hidden in these 5-hour shows, and if we get them in the forefront of people's faces, then that's going to be how we get to 30,000, no doubt.
By the way, I got a note in the chat. Jeremy said, personally, I love seeing Paul break, which is when Darrin comes on screen. So
there you go. So I think Jeremy's admitting that he might be part of that spike too.
We've got two.
There is magic to breaking the host. There is magic to, making things a little bit real. I think the hard part about this distance, right? We're all none of us are near each other except for Scott and Mary, which super jealous. More for Mary about Scott. I just want to get close to Scott. You know that. But the magic.
You're big close to me, buddy.
Right, of being in front. It's fun. It's just like when I did a reading of my show, I got more comments about them watching me watch the show than the show.
Very true.
Right, and so that magic of an improv show or a vaudevillian type show, where the audience has the ability to also watch off stage the other performers enjoying the performers on stage, it just creates that energy and that aura. So. We just got to break Paul more is basically what I'm saying.
That's true.
So,
I wish Stephanie were here to hear that, because we did a Corn Time with Friends that way, where it's like, oh, I have this idea. Let's have the videos in like 2/3 of the screen. And then Stephanie and Alex and Dan, you're going to be live on the corner so people can watch you watch these videos and react to them.
Yep. Well,
and I thought it was great. They hated it. It was like the worst thing we've ever done. We're never doing that again.
Even Paul asked me, he talked to me a while ago, and he's like, I don't think I should be on at all. I'm like, dude, Paul, the best part of some of these, everything is your reactions to your creation.
That's right.
And
go ahead.
I literally told him that, and I'm like, dude, your facial expressions, like he talks about my facial expressions. I'm like, dude, your genuine love for your family that you have created means more to the community and for content than you can ever possibly imagine. Please keep doing it.
I love you for saying that. I love that.
It's so true.
It's so true.
Yeah.
The first suggestion box is, I was like, Paul, it's great and all, but the best part is you're reacting to the bits. We've got to have you on camera the entire show. So I set up OBS to where his camera was on the entire hour. He couldn't turn it off. So you were always able, it's like a Drew Carey in Whose Line, the host, he's always kind of there. So it's like, we're going to watch you react to every single funny thing. And he did. It was great. But then we realized that he might have to pee or something like that. And so he got out of it.
Let's do it on camera.
We should still do it.
Even
Just
funnier.
pee on camera.
Even funnier.
Do it on camera.
Let him pee.
But when we did that, he's so great. He's so funny to watch react, because it's so genuine and it's pure. And it makes you have a better time just watching Paul enjoy it, Well,
and there's something, something about getting permission that we as humans seek. Is it okay to laugh at this? Oh yeah, it's totally okay to laugh at this, right? There's also a part of that. If you were the single person in a stand-up comedy show, you would feel obligated to laugh as opposed to just genuinely laughing.
Yeah.
But when you're in a crowd and the crowd is laughing with you, or the crowd is applauding with you, you feel that sort of release of, I can just relax and laugh and enjoy it. And because we're stuck at home, and we only have this interface, being able to see another person enjoy it with you psychologically gives you that ability to be sharing Because I'll tell you, I used to travel for a living, and I would go to amazing places, and it didn't matter to me because my wife wasn't there to share it with me. And that same concept is parlayed into comedy and shows too. A single person in an audience is not going to have the same experience as in a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's just.
That's smart.
But with that, we are at our hour. Thank you for coming to Denny's with me and having moods over
By
my
so fast.
My food.
Great
never came.
pancake.
Yeah, our food didn't come. What the hell? What's going
I
on?
blame the cook.
That's
Aren't you
part
the
of the
cook in the
course
house?
today.
My moons over my hammy didn't come, but my girlfriend showed up, so that's all that matters.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
That
I'll
works.
take that.
Thank you, everybody, for watching at home. Thank you, everybody here, for sticking around so late on a Saturday night. I really appreciate every single one of you. I wish that, except for Scott, that I would be able to give a hug to every single one of you. You know, Scott, you get a different embrace. You know that.
Ooh.
What?
It hurts.
The hips move forward.
It's literally uncomfortable and it's very
You ever put Velcro together? It's kind of like
yeah. It's there's a lot of chafing that goes on.
and a
It's very
tearing sound as
uncomfortable.
we release.
It's the sad part is I have all the hair, so I'm doing the chafing on him. It's a weird scenario.
Mary's
It's a
like,
history. I'm sorry. I thought I told you.
stop. All right, ladies
I
and
don't-
gentlemen, thank
I don't
you
even
so
know
much.
what's happening right now.
Thank you so much for coming out and enjoying the
I
after
love you
party.
all.
We will see you guys next time. By the way, catch Amanda's show tomorrow if you haven't.
Yay,
Yes,
please.
Amanda.
If you don't have it on your
Amanda.
calendar, get it
If
on
you
your
haven't
calendar.
liked the video yet, go like it.
Yep, like the video, get those likes up there.
Get
and
those
see the
requests.
wheel.
I know. Send in requests. I'm like, oh, I need more.
www.vaudacity.online.
Yes.
That's it.
And all of our awesome family that is on the chat. We all love you. I love you. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
David, I
Oh.
didn't mean anything I said.
Thank you guys all very much. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
Darrin.
joining
Yeah.
us.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Darrin,
Thank you,
for an
Darrin.
amazing green room after party.
Thanks, everybody.